about culture, about cities, electronic music, and how they fit together. So we have here a nice panel of experts. They will present themselves in a second, where we explore a little bit more in depth how these different cities, these big metropoles, like Berlin, like Amsterdam, have a take on the music, on the way we party, the way events are created. And well, I will let them tell a little bit more. So first, let me start with the first guest, and he presents himself.
Hello, how are you? I'm Jacob, also known as the Dutch New Yorker.
Yeah, I don't know what.
No, nice.
Well,
Nice. Thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't know if it was formal, and we were just passing it. Yeah, I'm from New York originally, and based out of Amsterdam. I run a organization called Subliminal, and also a event company.
Nice to meet you, Jacob.
Very nice to meet you as well, sir.
And so my name is Giorgio. I'm also known with the nickname Flight Mode. I also run a party organization in Berlin called Orbit Berlin. And yeah, nice to meet you all.
Yeah, my name is Jan Maarten. I'm from Rotterdam originally. Live now for 25 years in Amsterdam. DJ, party organizer, and also founded the School of House 12 years ago, education platform about electronic music and festival organization. And since this year, I quit with the company and I started a new company with friends of mine in hydration tablets for hangovers, jet lags, and so on. Yeah, cool to be here with you guys and talk about this subject.
Well, then let's dig into the topic right away. When you're talking about jet lags, are they different in Amsterdam than in Berlin?
Well, I guess so like the question is again, sorry?
Well, so the party scenes in Berlin versus Amsterdam. So when you go party, is that still hardcore 7, 9, 8, 10 hours non-stop? We know that from these Berghains, where when you see the posting, it's always about, you have to go the whole weekend. You go Monday morning still. That's when the last come out. So is this still the culture in Berlin? Is that different than now in Amsterdam? Or what do you experience?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I can talk about Berlin more. I came to Amsterdam a few times, of course, for Amsterdam Dance event. But my experience with Berlin is for Berlin. Generally, yes, there is still this type of culture. So parties usually can run also like 3-4 days in special occasions. But at least like 24 hours. I would say that there is still like pre-COVID and after COVID in the way that the people party. So that certainly has marked a difference in a lot of ways. But when we talk about like the desire of people to party, like how the clubs approach partying, I think like there is not so many differences. How about Amsterdam?
Well, yeah, it's a quite broad question in a way. I feel that I play in Sisyphos Club once a year with the Thuishaven crew. That's a party for 3 days. So I know the culture is there, and of course a lot of other clubs in Berlin. In Amsterdam, I know that I think they started a couple of, 5, 6, 7 years ago with a 24-hour permit. And yeah, what you saw is that the clubs who tried to have a 24-hour program used it, I think maybe once or twice a month for parties that took on till 7 in the morning. But not a lot, like 24 hours and then for 3 days in a row. Because, I think it takes time to maybe grow as a city towards a 24-hour culture. And it also has to do with how many people do you have who go out. And I think Amsterdam wants to be like a 24-hour capital kind of city and a vibrant city. but there are a lot of factors come in play why it's not really happening that way. You got some initiatives and parties who do, like I think Brett, Radion tries, and of course in North there are a lot of clubs and places and underground things going on. So I think it happens, but I don't know if Amsterdam will ever be like Berlin. I don't think so. Also because of the amount of people you have to go out. That go out.
Yeah, I think definitely Berlin and Amsterdam are completely, well, they're definitely separate places, separate type of cultures. I mean, a lot of similarities with, I see like Amsterdam was trying to grow in a way that it could kind of move in that direction, that it does more of like 24-hour events and weekenders and things like this. But I know the underground techno scene is very much creates their own weekenders every weekend. So, you know, they will just, if the event lets out at 8 in the morning at Radion, they'll do, they'll do an after party until 12, and then they will go to the next venue at 12, and then they will go until, 11, and then, keep their weekender going if that's what suits them.
Yeah, and after COVID or during COVID, actually, you saw that a lot of youngsters, they threw their own secret parties.
Yeah.
And I think after that whole terrible time, they just took on. I saw a lot of new organizations popping up. Also, I think the people behind Club Raum and other organizations, I think they started because they needed to dance, go out, meet each other in a time that they couldn't. And now you see that how much pain and money and effort it takes to get a location. They took, I think, Club Raum took over maybe 1 year or 1.5 to get the permit sorted. And there are so many stories like this. So it's the city wants to, and then you got too many buildings that are too pricey to rent out to young people who want to try things out and gather with their friends. So I think money is always a big factor. The pressure to make enough revenue for a club or an owner of a building. And Amsterdam, they don't have too many buildings and themselves as a city. So there's not a lot of place or room in the center to give away for a low price to new creative concepts or plans. So that's a problem. But look here, outside of the city center, then we have to do it here. And it's also good. Yeah.
Is this in Berlin? What is the counterpart in Berlin? Do you have the same problems?
Yes, pretty much actually. Like I was thinking about it. Like we also struggle a lot with the incredible increasing prices of clubs to rent a clubs. To own a club, so like because obviously like everything starts from the club owners, and we always consider them as being like against, a little bit the people that party, but actually like the club owners are just maybe like trying also to keep up with their own expenses. So what happens is that the expenses grow for the club owners, then expenses grow for like the people that go to party, and with the result that in the end, like they all seem like suffers from that. So less people come to parties, and in general, like this is going on already for some years. There is, for example, Watergate is closing, and it has been an institution in Berlin. Wilderenat as well is closing, and obviously when clubs that have really shaped the scene in Berlin, then you start wondering if this is, the direction, and we should all get worried about, is this scene is going to survive or not? I'm more on the optimist side, to be honest, because I believe that like if a club dies, there will be another one maybe rising somewhere else. But for a nostalgic, probably like seeing, like really famous clubs dying it hurts a little bit.
But what is the reason for the dying? Is it the real estate prices or is there no one willing to take over the risk and the club? What?
For sure. I mean, in Berlin, like what happened with Watergate and also with Wilde Renate was that you know the owners of the buildings raised the price, doubled the price of the rent, and if you sum that up with the overall cost of keeping a club alive, that has become unbearable for the club owners, and they were forced to close. And obviously, like the speculation of the owners of the buildings doesn't really collide and clashes with the interest of the person that owns that runs the club. You know, so.
But is it not also sometimes, and eventually also for Amsterdam, where they establish a kind of, they want a certain image within their city, and then at a certain point in time, that club at that location doesn't really fit the kind of people that they want to have in that area, because they want to have more families and people who sleep over long term, and then the strong music might not be really appropriate, and they try to push out. I think that's happening a little bit here in Amsterdam, where they want to giving a little bit a new revival of the city center in a more traditional way, and where you see then also everything going a little bit on the suburbs. But is it not also a normal thing on the growth of the city, because it just grows? Everything goes a little bit further away.
Yeah, I honestly think it's a lot of factors, man. As also just as an event organizer, I do feel like there's a common misdetail between the club owners and the actual organizers. It's becoming like more of a place where it's just like, okay, pay the rent and good luck. And it's like, if there was co-curation with like marketing, if there was co-curation with marketing and understanding that you guys are trying to both have a success so that the club can also get paid and you can also have a successful event, which will then bring in another successful event. And if there was some sort of like understanding and common goal between the organizers and the club promoters, I mean, and the club owners, I think there would be much more room for everybody to grow, actually. And I do understand, of course, that they have a lot of bills, and people are raising up bills for because they want to gentrify a space in the center, and there's a club there. But yeah, I just think that if there was this detail there, it would really be much easier for everybody to produce a good event and to grow.
But based on this statement, and also what we said earlier, that there's a lot of event organizers, so young event organizers on the horizon or starting their journey. Does that not is then the outer areas of the city getting more attractive at the end?
I think you have to also look at an important factor, and that's or a club programs its own nights, or they rent it out to young event organizers. And mostly what happens is that, and you also saw it at Shelter, for instance, at the ADE Tower, they want to program it themselves. And later on, you got more organizations and labels who get the opportunity to host the night. So it has to do with a financial risk in a way that that clubs like the School, for instance, that they managed to create, I think, one of the best vibes and energy, and also a culture that people understood each other and let everybody free and be who they want to be with their own program. And because of the culture in the club, a lot of artists wanted to play there, and they were really selective at the door, but I think also in their program. So my idea was, and I talked to friends about it when they were closing, it's a shame, of course, that the city didn't buy the building and let them continue, because to create something like that special kind of brand and community and everything, yeah, that's something you have to keep for the city. And I think that's also when you look at Wilde Renate and also maybe New York clubs, you know, they have a reason for existing. And mostly it started out not because of money. If you look at Chicago, Detroit, we've been to Chicago 12 years ago. The originators there, they were pushed away, and the audience, Afro-American, a lot of Latin Americans, they weren't allowed anymore in white clubs back in the days, in the 70s. So they started to organize their own block parties and parties in the city and playing electronic music from vinyl and so on. So the originating factor is that young people or people who feel like we're pushed away or don't get an opportunity, they find their way in you know. But if the city center is not giving them an opportunity, then they will find a place somewhere else. So the club scene will never die out. But if you only have people videoing on the dance floor and not dancing anymore, maybe it will. So, you know, Jack Master said it, I think, before as a quote. Not before he died, of course, but like he did it also because he really liked dancing people and the dancing energy and people connecting. So I don't know. We have to ask young people themselves: do they want to have a club scene or not, and why?
But about actually this that you said about experiencing the partying without, you know, like video. Like, I mean, we have a good example in Berlin in Kit Kats. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and she was like, you know, when people enter, you know, because it's a kinky party, and when they basically have to get undressed. But the thing is that also their phone needs to be put in the bag. And what happens is that people really experience the night in a different way from what they're used to be, because maybe the first 5 minutes they're looking for their phones, and then, like, you know, they completely forget that they even have a phone. And I mean, that's exactly what, you know, the club is trying to build there, and what we are missing most of the time. Of course, in Berlin we have the no photo policy overall, so like this definitely helps. But I mean, still in your pockets, and generally speaking, like you tend to remove it at some point in the night. So yeah.
That's why they need older dinosaurs who already been here, like myself, in the end of the 90s. I have 2 children, and you know, I also talk about it with them. Hey, leave the phone alone and try to experience what's happening. And it's even for adults really difficult. But anyway, different topic maybe.
Didn't we just start the no phone policy, like picture policy, but they just like officially initiated it, right, in Amsterdam? Didn't?
I hope. I think we need to help people in different ways. We need to help people to find each other and experience a good nightlife. And I think also a factor, of course, the festivalization. So a lot of people want to feel healthy and want to be, you know, fit the next day. Go out daytime and to go, you know, they don't want to go till 6 in the morning. Maybe the youngsters, like 18 to 25, and 25 till 60, because it's a big target group. You know, everybody still wants to party. Yeah, they rather go to open air daytime kind of, raving. Well, yeah. Berlin, same, and yeah.
Absolutely.
These open air as an example. So I think, well, specifically Amsterdam has there a big culture with. Back in the days, for me, it was Sensation White. That was the biggest event here, coming here and then seeing the city, everyone dressed white, kind of left and right. It created this kind of, oh yeah, this one must also go to that party. So that created this kind of party tourism. Happens more and more. There's then a lot of festivals happening in the very near surrounding of Amsterdam. Berlin is there a little bit, there's not so much, also as to my knowledge, but correct me, so many of these festivals happening around the city. They have the Love Parade, or the Rave the Planet, as it's called now. But
well, they have some actually, but they are not, I would say, like known on a global level or on a European level. So like people generally know Time Warp, you know, in Mannheim. But Fusion, which is like an hour from Berlin, is probably one of the best festivals that there are out there. There is like Book der Träumer. There is a few, I think 5, 6. But again, it's they're not really like on the spotlight as much as others, like except for Time Warp.
But how come? Why? Is that from the municipality or the government or the municipality doesn't want to have that tourism that eventually here is a little bit more popular here in the Netherlands?
I think it's not about like what the municipality wants. It's like these are type of festivals that are supposed to be known, or like that are known by the locals. And somehow after many years, like generally, like if you ask someone from Italy about fusion, only if he came to Berlin he can tell you, yes, of course I know fusion. So like there is something that has to do with the vibe of the festival itself that like stays really like true to its German value somehow. So I think this is not the goal of the festival itself to go global. But to remain as it is, and Berlin overall, I think, has a lot of things which detach the city from the rest, and these festivals are like have a different vibe completely. I mean, I went to the Mantel, for example, like some years ago, and there is a lot of freedom in the way that festival runs in Berlin that I haven't seen really anywhere else. And coming back to what I said before, that's exactly why they stay, local or anyway, like on a German level.
Yeah, the costs of organizing a festival are really high, and became higher in Holland at least. You know, the production of those festivals, the costs are so high that the margin is maybe 10-20% to make profit. So if you find people want to take a risk, like 2-3 million, to organize a festival for 50,000 people in Berlin, maybe that also has to do with the reason that there are not so many. It's still special that we have such a big amount of festivals here in Holland. But
why is that? Is that the culture from I don't know.
We like to create an entrepreneur and so on. I think I think the Netherlands, they have a kind of dance electronic event kind of spirit. They want to organize stuff, also sports events and carnival and so on. But I think also a lot of them go bankrupt if the concept is not great, or the production is not state of the art, or people have to wait in lines, or there are threats, or it rains 2 years in a row. Then they just die out because of bad luck. Friends of mine, they have Thuishaven in the West already for 10 years, and they do really well. And it's a small festival, and I think the pressure there is also high to have it as full as possible every weekend. But we talk about 3,000 people and not 50,000. Also a lot of factors in play. Jacob, you want to have a thought about it?
About what the festivals being about, the Netherlands having a bunch of festivals. I mean the festival culture in general it's gotten very commercial, in a way that you're gonna have to come in with a lot of budget and to make anything, and also with, honestly, just with organizing events period now. People, there's kids that are like 25 years old, between 18 and 25, that have collectives, organizations that are trying to organize events, and they have to drop even if they're trying to cover a bar guarantee. It's difficult for them,
Yeah, the steps you make as a young organizer are mostly from a club event to hosting a stage at a festival, or being asked to do that and getting money for it. And then when you're really successful, you build your brand, you get more and more people, then you are maybe going to organize your own festival or a small outdoor event. But the step from organizing club events, being asked to host a stage, to organizing an outdoor event yourself, is a financial risk. And normally the young people sometimes also study or do something else. They don't want to decide to give their whole life and risk their whole bank amount on failing maybe that one time. So I had the same. I organized parties, and when it became bigger and bigger, we were like, okay, now we have to like invest 10,000 or 15,000 euros. And then you think like, hey, if it goes wrong, what then? So then mostly an investor comes, or somebody with money, a friend who sold his company, or there's a bigger festival who buys the smaller event brand. And then the bigger festival mostly get bought by a really big company, like we saw with IDT also some years ago, and Loveland Awakenings, Digital, they all got bought in a way. Is it something good or bad? I don't know.
But that's then the question. Is then now, if it's now owned by a bigger corporate, let's say, which I don't know where the corporate is, then let's say America, just for the sake of the
England.
example. Is it? And do they shape then how locally the event is experienced?
If they're smart, they're smart, they leave it up to the young people who already made it successful. And you saw with SFX in America that the brands over there, it didn't work out because it takes time, to brand a new brand in a new continent, of course. And the teams, you need local people to understand what the local crowd wants and how to communicate with them, do the right marketing, book the right artists, and so on. But anyway, is it bad or good? I don't know. Without money, it's really difficult to maintain an event organization. Only some of them have great success. Maybe you can say something about it.
Well, I do know that. Well, I agree 100%. We know like the bigger events that take off, that have taken off at least in the past years, Vault Sessions, bigger curated events like this that have a very good cult following. It's very difficult to, of course, have this success. I think a lot is about timing and a lot is about momentum. And understanding also, like me being from New York, I'm not Dutch, but I've lived here 6 years, and I'm like, okay, I really had to figure out the country and the city, how it navigates, and also, of course, I'm still figuring it out, But
what is your impression as a New Yorker from living here in Amsterdam? What do you think? Are we doing a good job?
I do. I do. I
Tricky
do.
question.
It's a very good question. I think there's a lot of similarities. I mean, every time I have this type of conversation, everyone's like, yeah, New Amsterdam. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it. We're Dutch a bit. But yeah, I think we're doing good. I mean, I like, we don't really have much electronic music in the States. It's something very new, Now it's of course we had Chicago, we had Detroit, all of this, but in the New York scene, it's a very hip hop oriented scene, So like now they are getting more into like tech house, techno, the basement, things like this. And you have like these niche markets that love it, which is amazing. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I had to think about the New York house scene and Body and Soul and so on, and back in the days. But that was more for a smaller audience then.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I think Amsterdam is doing a great job compared to building communities. Same thing with Berlin. I think like
I think Kerry Chandler plays more here than in New York, or not?
Yeah, I think we enjoy playing more in Europe than playing back home because
But why?
Because people are more connected, man. It's more about the music and way more about the artist than what car you drive. And how you look. It's much more about like how you present your organization, your music, and the event or whatever you are trying to complete.
Yeah, but that's really funny. Maybe you can say something about it, because it also maybe connects with the topic. The guys from Apollonia, but a lot of American artists, they are from New York, of course. They, I think they went to Berlin and started living there, producing, and yeah, they created a bigger career or more opportunities for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the label Berlin still then that you say, okay, if you're from Berlin, you have something extra, or is it?
No, I mean, let me explain. So I moved to Berlin like 5 years ago, and like the first months I thought that like every possible DJ that was passing by in Berlin was amazing, and there was just good music. I was wrong, and actually that's actually the reason why I started playing, because when you see that actually the people that are supposed to make you dance are not and are not keeping up at the level that you pretend. Then you start thinking, okay, maybe I can play better, and that's why I actually started playing. Definitely, like what the city offers is like it gives a lot of inputs from a musical perspective. You know, like you are surrounded like by musicians, producers, bookers, artists, and when you breathe that every day, every single day. Definitely, like you have a lot of, and you have more entry to this world, much more than I could have ever had in Italy, where I come from. So, which is why, like before, I didn't even consider the idea of starting DJing. But when I came here, the opportunity started happening until like one party after the other, you start understanding a little bit. How or what do you need in order to progress? I would say that the program we have in Berlin is the opposite. There is a lot of competition, and the entry level is not that high. As in, like I know a lot of collectives, small collectives, which are pretty much like big as much as mine. That are struggling to actually get recognized, because there is too many young collectives who are doing the same thing. So there the question is like what you got, like how actually you pass the entry level and you go from junior to senior, so that's really like the challenge. And I think for me, from my experience, like what's important is really to stay true to your core values in terms of music, first of all. So like really like proposing something where the people like recognize themselves to and create a sense of community, because at the end of the day, people go for a dance to have fun and to forget about their problems.
But if you say then the style of music, is the music then different now? What is the style? What is the actual style? What you say now, Berlin? The music style that would be now the most popular in Berlin.
Yeah, but it's difficult to say, because there are hundreds of styles. But what you said about recognition is really interesting. That young labels or crews, they want to get recognized. The question is, for what? Because if you create music and you play music that you feel like this is what I stand for, and then you can always talk about quality levels. I think the guys from Perlon, Villa Lobos and Zip, they do their thing and will say this is quality and that is other quality, or this is not so underground and that's more commercial. But there will also be trance DJs who think totally different about it and don't know them. And that's so funny about electronic music. Everybody feels like this is my truth and this is quality. But that's what I wanted to say. If you look at Tresor, if you look at the documentary Fire about the electronic music scene in Berlin, that actually started thriving after the fall of the wall in 1989, then you see that people, they just wanted to go crazy because they were stuck with their lives and they wanted to express themselves. So that's, I think, the main thing, expression. So if you want to express something through art, just do it. And if you find an audience, great. but the expression itself is where it all stands for. You know, you stand for you, and you stand for something you want to share. And I think the youngsters maybe sometimes, they want to get their music heard, and the label already gets thousands of tracks, and they don't listen to their music. Yeah, just put it out yourself through YouTube like this, and find your audience, and just kick ass.
I had somebody. Oh, sorry. I had somebody very successful in the industry one time tell me, "Build your own table. Don't try to take a seat at somebody else's." You know, and this is such a beautiful, simple statement. You know, I think too many people try to sit at the table that's already filled, like, with all the people that they've been working with for so long. And I think piggybacking off of what you said about community building and just making sure that you are true to your own values and having your sound of what you feel and your core, collective feels is prosperous for you guys to grow, or whatever your goal might be.
Yeah, when there's a lot of competition, that's just what it is. When I started Trezor, there were not so many people who started a club. And it was successful because of there was maybe not so much competition, and they did it, and they did something right. I think that also you will be punished if your club is not having a great sound system, or the bar personnel they are never behind the bar if you need them. Try to do the best you can and try to organize it well. And if you have something special to bring to the table, hopefully you will find audience.
I think what why Trezor worked is that, like, back in the days, like what they did was more like a reaction than an action, while now you're just trying to build something, as you said, something that works well for you. The problem is that sometimes, you're trying to copy someone else, while in the end, I think the beauty is to again stay true to your core values and build something where the people somehow are attached to, keeping in mind that probably there is 100 or 50 collectives who probably do something very similar. So I think the challenge is what makes you different from the other people. And unfortunately, I think nobody here has the magic potion to answer this question. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I have an idea, because I also
shoot.
I was a teacher.
I guess everyone will be writing.
I was a teacher, that's why my monologues are so long. Now, if you look at Aphex Twin, for instance, he builds his own synthesizers and builds his own drum computers and so on. He creates his own sounds. He creates weird stuff. He creates stuff that people understand and stuff that people don't understand. And I think the Warp label boss said, "Hey man, just go on." And he was connected back in the days with a video maker. I forgot his name, but they created so many cool videos together. So I think they were more expressing themselves through art again. So if you wanna get noticed, there must be a reason why. Making tech house tracks is good. Making minimal is great. But if it's really similar to other stuff, then I hear sometimes tracks and I hear, hey, this is a Guy Gerber track from 10 years ago. Or I hear a techno track and I say, hey, they looped this small part of Giborato or whatever. So that's so funny. Everything is...
How old are you? No, I'm joking.
I'm 89.
But can I ask you something?
Do you know The Substance? Did you see the video? My older me is at home. No, but it's difficult. There's so much music made. They say everything is made already. So you need to find some kind of symbiosis between art forms that makes it special. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I was connecting to what you said. It's also very hard, to do something which is unique and new without actually and making it feel like. having people understand it, you know. So like all the people that actually innovated at first were not understood. So like we need someone that definitely changes a bit put the threshold a little bit like higher. And I think now we're living in a generation where maybe music is not exactly this big, like we're just repeating and repeating. At the same time, when you are like an innovator and someone who proposes something new, probably you're not gonna be understood at first. So let's see if we're going to leave this time of innovation, or we're gonna keep being stuck in an age where basically we are listening to the same music over and over.
Yeah, and what are you? What kind of artist are you? Are you a DJ selector? Are you a DJ performer? Are you an artist who wants to perform in front of a crowd that looks at you all the time because you have videos around you? If you don't know what you're doing, then at least you should try to figure that out yourself first, and then you can present it and promote it the right way. And I think that guidance is necessary, because young people who go out, they don't know. They just go to a place and there's somebody standing there who does stuff. And they don't know if it's a live act, I think. Is it a DJ who wants to, not be seen, but only works on the dance floor with selective kind of music? I think, there's some kind of, there's room to gain and to win in the right proposition for an artist as well. That's what I think.
So we're getting slowly to the end. So it's a very interesting panel. I will get the last words then to Jacob on the topic.
Well, I would just ask also you guys, I'm gonna say definitely I would recommend to get a mentor, somebody that's been in the industry or has done kind of what you've been doing, or organize, say you want to do, or if you want to organize events, things like this, DJ, whatever it might be, to definitely have somebody that understands the scene and has had some sort of success and has made also some mistakes that you might make, so that you don't make the same, and get a very good team around you that understands what you're doing. You guys are all on the same page, and you could work as a unit. It's not like 50 different visions kind of going in different directions. True. With one core vision that you kind of all see, but then but because of maybe lack of communication, you guys are not able to really speak and get on the same page all the time, and I think this is a huge factor of success, actually. Keep your team good and keep it small.
Yeah, you need luck, and you need also you need
primarily yes.
And you need
essentially yes, you definitely need this.
Well, and people who believe in you, and first of all, you have to believe in yourself, and that's already a big thing. And mentorship is true. Yeah, that's why at School of House for 12 years. Maybe we're gonna start again, because I think there's still room
after this panel.
There's still room to mentor and coach. And there's a lot of talent, I believe, but the persistence and really going for the goal you have, and it could be anything. Could also be organizing great raves. Something we might can help each other with.
Okay.
And the city hall, maybe they have to the municipality, they have to talk a lot, but more take actions, because there are all plans for new event permit kind of and terrains and so on, opportunities for youngsters. It's postponed again a year. I read in the newspaper for the second year in a row, and I think they need to find locations and opportunities where they really can give youngsters a chance.
Okay. So then, with these words,
and
karma, we would then wish every event organizer, young or senior level, all the luck in the city where he and makes people enjoy the art of music in its whatever way it is. So the last words would I then let to each and every one of you, so sharing a little bit what will be your plans during these ADE weeks, what are the events that you are visiting or where we will see you eventually then performing in the case of.
This ADE week, I will be running around, meeting people from international friends and things like that, just connecting. If you want to say hi, come and see me. Check Subliminal Amsterdam for some upcoming things that we have for ADE weekend.
Well, pretty much the same plan since we know each other. So I'm gonna be meeting people. I got a long list of parties because ADE is the only place where actually partying also means working, because basically you're gonna meet a lot of people from the industry, and that's what we've all been chasing. So yeah, like just check out Orbit Berlin if you are in Berlin or you want to come to Berlin, and yeah, see you soon.
It's like a promotional end of the
And the promotional ad says,
well, I'm working on oriri.shop. No, our hangover and hydration and ejaculate supplements. We want to hand them over and let them be used, of course, by artists. And there are actually Porsches driving around in the city, and they take all the artists to digital and awakenings and so on. So they're able to take tablets, and hopefully they'll be happy with it. And yeah, some nice parties, breakfast club. Yeah, nice. We're gonna dance, man. They need people who dance.
No phones allowed, please.
And I think that's a nice word to close it down. We need to dance. That's the whole purpose of every event that we create, because the dance floor is the most honest place on the planet where you share emotions and you share togetherness, which creates respect. And that's what it's all about and needed on this planet. Thanks very much for my guest, Jacob, Flight Mode, and Jan. And we will switch over now to the decks for the last part with music, with Kitty Maroni on the decks, enjoying the last part here in Bar Bagabist in Amsterdam for the ADE event. Let's talk in secret. Thanks very much.